Hello again and welcome back to Medieval Dynasty. In this video we're going to be finishing out spring of our first year by getting started on our farming area. So that's the reason that I like harvesting berries early on. One of the struggles that we'll run into if we're not careful is trying to get oh, my brain stopped working. Hang on, buffering. Trying to get fertilizer for our fields. We could just go and buy it, but it does get pretty expensive pretty quickly. I'm still finding crap from where my inventory exploded. So there are two main ways of getting fertilizer. You can get manure from animals, but animals are incredibly expensive. Or you can utilize something known as rot. So when food is sitting out for too long, it will rot. If it's sitting in your inventory, it will take a few seasons to rot. If it's sitting in a chest, it will take probably a year or so. If it's sitting in the food storage building, it will take a couple of years. But if you just throw it on the ground, it will actually rot by the end of the season. You could also build something called the compost bin with some logs, and that will be a way to create rot without just tossing the berries on the floor. But honestly, I just toss them on the floor because it's easiest. The reason that I choose berries instead of any other food is because you can get hundreds of berries really, really easily. So I just harvested like 2 berry patches and I got 170 berries, I think. Like, here's another berry spot. So let me harvest berries here and we can see how many berries we can get. You'll see we also leveled up. So it's a great way to get additional survival experience, because pretty much any survival activity will get you both character experience and technology experience. I think that was a technology, because I now have the ability to build a, what's it called? A hunting lodge. So let me see. Yeah, I'm already at 120 unripe berries. You don't want to use these as a food supply. In the summer, if you have a berry patch that you did not harvest in spring, they will ripen to ripe berries in the summer, and then they are a food source, but they're not the best food source, so it's honestly just best to harvest them for rot, in my opinion. Now, if you're willing to play it a little bit slower than I am, then you know, maybe not. Don't stress so much about getting rot too early. I'm coming up here because this town I know has a guy that sells farming supplies. Oh, here we go. This is the guy I'm looking for. And I forgot to bring my mead with me. How much money do I have? Only 200. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 25 fertilizer. And 25, oh, can't do 25 flaxseed. Not manure. I then want a simple bag. Okay, and I'm over encumbered, but I'm going to head home and get started on my farm. So to farm any crops, what you will need is a hoe, which can be made just with some logs. You will also need a bag, either a real bag or something known as a simple bag. You can actually make a simple bag yourself if you have a leather. I don't have a leather, and I don't want to go hunting anything that drops leather right now, so I just bought it from that guy for 21 gold. Wasn't the most expensive thing. So you will need a hoe and a bag as your tools. You will also need the fertilizer for your field and you will need the seeds that you're planning on planting. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to my house. I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut here to head back home, just so... Okay. This is lovely. I missed. That's nerve-wracking. Okay. I think it was just got aggroed on a rabbit and was chasing the rabbit down. And I'm outside of its threat radius, so it's not going to come at me. But that was definitely scary. So we're going to head... My goodness, my phone is going crazy. I should probably silence it. So we're going to head back home, and I'm going to empty my inventory, and then we'll get started with the farm. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we've just finished emptying out our inventory, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the field. So I'm going to go into buildings and farming to set up my field. This is just a temporary field. I don't really know where I want things yet, but I do want to get started with farming. So I'm going to do a 5x5 field because this is probably the easiest way to level up your farming. A 5x5 field, the act of fully planting it will actually get us like our first 2 or 3 farming tech buildings. So it's really good to get started early. So I'm just running around with my wooden hoe, and first you have to hoe the soil. Then you're going to need to spread the manure with the bag. Then you're going to need to use the hoe again to get the manure worked in. And lastly, you'll need to spread the seed with the bag. So that should be our first building. So we now have the ability to make the food storage building, which will be really useful when we get some villagers. Let me get my simple bag out. Equip its number 5. And we need to select our fertilizer. And we're going to go ahead and spread the fertilizer. It's a little tedious, I know, but it helps if I actually target. There's a little bit of wonkiness with the targeting in this game, where even though like I'm targeting the field and it says it's unfertilized, I might not be targeting it in the exact right way, and so my action does not actually do anything. It's honestly not the end of the world, but it is a little bit glitchy and a little annoying. So until you get used to the wonkiness of it, be prepared to get mildly irritated. Or maybe I'm just easily irritated. Okay. Almost done. Yep, see, like I did it right here. Fortunately, it does not consume the item, so me doing that animation of spreading the fertilizer did not actually consume it, so it's not the end of the world. Not even sure if it used up durability of my tool. Let's get out the wooden hoe. So there we go, we unlocked the barn already. The barn is what we're going to need in the summer to turn our rot into fertilizer. So that's why I wanted to unlock it relatively early. I do need to get another log or 2 to make a new hoe. So let's head over here, cut down a tree. While that's falling, I'm going to eat some... There we go. Eat an oat roll, and now my stamina consumption should be a lot less of an issue. So we'll make our new hoe, and we will head back over here, and we will continue the field. So I'm going to finish hoeing this up, clean up my inventory, and then I'll get back to you guys when we're heading to town. So be right back. Okay, so we are all done with that section right now. And if I look at my map, it's only noon. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to the original town because, as you can see on the far right, I do have a quest that I need to continue, or I need to start Unagost's story. So that's the dude that was my uncle's BFF. And instead of, so if I look on the map, I followed this path on the south side of the river. On my way out, I'm going to follow the path on the north side, just so I can try to find some more resources, maybe find a camp, maybe find something that's useful. Just because, honestly, I'm kind of broke, and it would be really, 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 really nice to get some good resources without too much trouble. Now, I am running a bit of a risk because there could be some bandits, but as long as I notice them relatively early on, I should be able to escape from them pretty easily. The bandits, I think, only move at walking speed when they find you, or when you find them. So as long as you still have stamina to run, you should be fine. There are occasionally some bandits that have ranged attacks like bows, but ooh, there we go, an abandoned camp. There are some bandits that will have bows, but they tend to not be as prominent this early in the game. Okay, can I get... I want the booze. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Sometimes it's a little glitchy. Ooh, wine. That's the best. Simple torch. Okay. No big deal. Empty beer bottle. Mead bottle. Beer bottle. Some food. Not that great. Ooh, a hat. It'll actually be good in summer because it will help me keep cool, because there is a mechanic for your character's temperature that you do have to be careful of. So if you get too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter, you can start taking damage. I also got a potion of sobriety, which is really nice because there is a quest later on, spoilers, where you need one. So it's always nice to find one, just so I can keep it in my inventory. There was some firewood there, but I'm just going to leave it because it's honestly not worth the carrying capacity that it would take up. Another good place to look for items and for materials is along the river. So not just along the roads, but also along the river. You can find some barrels and bundles and things. So these planks, just not worth the carrying. Just not worth it to carry them around. Kind of useful early on, but not super useful, and definitely not worth having to haul it. Okay, let me make sure that I did not miss a turn or anything. I'm honestly kind of YOLOing this one because I only have one spear on me, maybe two spears, which is not a smart thing to do. I mean, I guess I do have my axe that I can always use as a weapon. But I'm gonna keep my spear out. Hopefully I don't whiff like I did with that wolf earlier. Okay. Oh, and I'm stinky. So if you see that little icon down in the bottom left, That is your character's smell, and that can affect things like how other characters treat you and how I think it might even affect prices. I'm not 100% positive on that. So it's a good idea, you know, before you go and try to rejoin civilization, to wash yourself off in the river. Okay. I'm not really seeing any useful resources, which is a bit of a bummer. But it happens. I've got some wine, I've got some ale, I've got some mead. Should be able to sell it for a decent amount. And now I'm back at that starting town. Oh, here's what I meant, where you can find a couple bundles along the river. So I'm going to bathe, and now my stinky icon is no longer there, so I am now clean, and I smell like river water, which I guess is better than the alternative. I already got that bundle on my way out, so let's head into town. It is only 3 o'clock, so I should be able to buy what I need from people. There are side quests. Like, you can maybe see there's a side quest over there if you look at the icon at the top, and there's a side quest there. I'm not stressing about side quests this season. I'm trying to get through the main story a little bit and setting up my farm. Okay. So this is the wife of my uncle's BFF. And now I have to take some booze and go talk to him. I wonder what we're going to do with the booze. Okay. And now I'm a little bit drunk. And let's talk to this guy. We'll sell him our wine and our mead and our booze and our wine. Okay. And the crop that I'm going to start off with is going to be flax seeds. It's not a food crop, but it is a very useful crop. That's pretty much the only way to get cloth early in the game, is to have flax. There are two kinds of fabric. There is linen and there is wool. Getting wool early on is just, honestly, it's impossible. Not even worth trying to get wool early on, because it costs literally thousands of gold to get sheep. So getting linen, however, you just need to grow flax. I'm not going to be ready for that in quite a while. It's going to take a little while to get to the point where I'm actually going to be able, to make linen, but it's always good to start stockpiling it early. And there really isn't any food crop that I really want to get started with early on. I usually do flax in the spring, and then in the summer I will do my first food crop of cabbage. Just the way I like to play it. We're gonna head back home in a little bit. I'm actually taking a bit of a roundabout way home. I'm coming down here. I'm gonna cross the river here, go back through, and then head north and kind of take this northern path. It is definitely roundabout, but it increases my chances of finding some useful camps and resources. So that's why I'm deciding to go this way. Because honestly, I feel like I I feel like I need to get more really good resources early on. I feel like I'm a little bit behind. Maybe it's because I did just restart a game and I had some really awesome luck early on, and I just haven't had that kind of luck in this game just yet. But I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I'm going to head home and sleep away the night. And then I'll get back to you guys in the morning when we are ready to finish planting our crops and kind of make a plan for the remainder of the season. So I'll get back to you guys then. Be right back. Okay, so here we are on the next day. I did not really have great luck. I was able to find a couple of resources, but excuse me. But I didn't really think that the resources I found were that great. The closest thing to a really good find that I got was, let me finish putting this away. I did get a little bit of wool, which is honestly relatively pricey, so not bad. The best thing I got was this bronze axe. It's not the best. I would have much rather had an iron axe, but you know what? I'm just going to have to live with having only this this one axe. So, okay, still have my simple bag. So let's go ahead and we're going to switch into our, where is it? Flax. And we are going to sow our flax seeds. And this should finish leveling up something, unless I already did level it up. I don't know, we'll find out. But then we're going to go ahead and get started on prepping for our first villagers. I think in summer is when I'm going to worry about finding villagers. Usually the two villagers I like to find first are going to be a hunter to just feed my other villagers, so both of them to feed each other, and then a lumberjack to harvest wood for me so that I can get more buildings up more quickly. So unfortunately I don't think I have the technology points yet to build a woodshed, but hopefully by building other things I will get the technology up high enough. So let me finish the field. There we go. And even though I did just finish planting, and it's the last day of spring, as long as we get it done before the end of spring, it counts as being done in spring. So I need to get from 68 points up to 100 points for the woodshed. So I think that means we're going to have to build our, well, let's do the well first. The well is kind of a pointless build, but it is necessary for having villagers. It's kind of pointless as a player, but it is crucial if you're going to have villagers because you need to be able to get water for them. And even though you, as a person, you know, free will and all that, you can go and get water from the river, your villagers are not so smart. So let's chop this one. I'm using my stone axe first just to use up all of its durability. And I'm just going to chop down all these trees. Again, I'm not digging up the stumps because I want to be able to make that decision later when I get an idea of where I want everything to be. I can move buildings, but it is always better to build them in roughly the right spot. So I'm gonna, you know, I do have some kind of thought of I want to have houses along here like a residential area in this area, and I think I'm going to do like production stuff down this road over here, and maybe farming out here. That's at least where I'm currently thinking. I may change my mind, in which case I will just have to move absolutely everything around, but it happens. Such is life. Okay. And let's continue. So one of the benefits of the better axes is they will chop down a tree in fewer swings. That only took 4 swings, where the stone axe took 5. The iron is the best. It only takes 3 swings to chop down a tree. Wish I had it. Oh well, maybe I'll get lucky later. Okay, so I'm approaching carrying capacity. Let's head over here and we will build up this well. And I just need straw. Should probably go harvest a bunch of straw because all... Are you kidding me? There was a thing right here? How did I miss that? Okay, well I get a bucket. That is one of the best early game finds, to be perfectly honest. Because you need to be able to provide your villagers with water, and they will only drink water out of a bucket that has been filled at the well. So building the well, getting a bucket, perfect. Okay. Let's harvest some more reeds. Okay. Don't think I'm going to be able to build a house for my villagers just yet. I might not have enough time in the day to do it. Well, we'll see. Okay. And now we can craft our bucket of water. And I could drink from the bucket of water as well, but it's just easier to drink on my own. We're going to eat that. Okay, so I'm going to plan out to have a house right here for my villagers. And then I'm going to plan out to have the hunting lodge. I think I want that over in this general area, which will be survival, hunting lodge 1. So I'm going to focus on building the hunting lodge first. Six, 7, 8. And mainly that's because the buildings for production and pretty much like the workstation buildings, you cannot control what they're made of. They're just made of whatever material they happen to be made of. That being said, my inventory is really full right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump stuff on the ground, and I'll come back for it later. Okay. I don't know what is going on and why I launched that straw into the atmosphere. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. So I need a lot of logs. Gotta wait for my stamina to recover. Choppy chop. Choppy chop. Okay, and I've unlocked the woodshed. Perfect. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, the woodshed is more valuable than the hunting lodge, but it's great to have them both. Okay, something's going on. You may not be able to tell, but there's a different beat in the music right now, which makes me think I'm near danger. I wonder if there are some bandits nearby. It's always a good idea to keep an ear out. Okay. Let me equip my axe. Just want to make sure that there is nothing super threatening nearby. Okay, no. I know there are some wolves off in that direction. But why was it giving me danger music? I don't know. It was just trolling me. Okay, let's pick up some more logs. Okay. And I'm going to let my stamina recover a little bit. Sticks are over here. And the straw is right there. Okay. And I need a log. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan out where my woodshed's going to go, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a cut, and I'm going to get back to you guys when I'm all done building, because honestly this is a little tiresome. I think to have you guys have to watch me slowly collecting all the materials I need. So I'm going to go ahead and do some work off camera, and I will get back to y'all when I have built up these buildings. Depending on time, I may even build up the villager's house that I'm going to be making. So I'll cut and I'll get back to you when I'm all done with that. So be right back. Okay, so it is now, what is that? 9 o'clock, 9:30. At the end of day 3 of spring, we have finished, I went ahead and finished up the second house. This will be for our villagers that we're going to go recruit in the summer. We have finished planting our flax, and then over here we have a fully constructed hunting lodge and a fully constructed woodshed. So I think that's going to do it for us today. Next episode, we're going to be playing around with villagers. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments area below, and I'll catch you in the next one.